once you put the air in, it pushed it in for you. You know what I mean? Because when you push the air in, it creates pressure in there, and then it wants to get the fluid out. So look, you got it all out. Isn't that great?
So
it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, so now the thing we want to do is disconnect this by screwing that off. And you want to use this because if you take this off, you're still going to have this on. We really don't want that on anymore.
This whole thing
that whole thing comes off. But watch your finger. You're going to be touching the sterile part. There you go. Perfect. Okay. We're going to keep this because we want to get the information off of the label. Oh, you did take it off.
Yep.
I was going to say, it's missing.
Yep, I put them all right here.
You were too slick, girl.
All right.
Okay, so that's perfect. Now, what I would probably have you do at this point is give this a little tap. Okay. Even though it doesn't look like there's many bubbles at the bottom. And by the way, bubbles are really no problem. But, you know, I'm an old school gal. I like to get all the bubbles out, you know.
Right.
So then what you're going to do is if there were bubbles down here, you have to give it a tap enough that they would flick up, you know. Okay. But it looks good. Okay. I think there's a tiny one right there, but that's nothing. Right. So then you're going to very carefully push out the air so that we don't have a lot of extra air that's at the top here. Okay. And probably I think the most controlled way, like if you went like this, it would do it. See what I mean? Okay. But if you push down too hard, you could lose some, right? Okay. So what I'd like to see you do is do one of these controlled maneuvers. Like you move your finger up and look, it gets stuck here. It's like not going to go too far at once. So this is a good little protective barrier for you. So if you go up like that little by little, you see, you'll be good. So why don't you do that for practice?
Okay. Just the top, right?
Yep. And if you got to hold it straight, honey, because the gravity has to be working for you to make it all the way up to the top. That's beautiful. Now when it bubbles like that, those few bubbles are of no consequence. If you keep going all the way till there's liquid, it's just going to drip down the side. And you can do that. It's just that you might want to wipe it because then it's just going to be really a sticky syringe. Okay. So you might want to just wipe the drips that come out.
Sorry.
That's okay.
All right. So the point is to get the bubbles out.
Well, most of the air. Remember, the air was a big gap. The bubbles are really okay. But, you know, it's up to you. But again, you just have a little more of a mess.
Okay. I think I got the liquid there.
That's perfect. Excellent. All right. So now, this is all ready to go. You can set this down briefly. I don't think it's going to drip on you, but you could kind of put it like that so it's angling up a little bit. And open this next piece. Now, the next piece that you need is this piece. And there's a reason why you're going to remember that that's the next one to go. Part of the reason is this has the needles, so that's the part that goes from you out. So this is the in-between piece. And actually there's, I think, one easy way to open this. It's hard to see. You see that little rip? There you go. Try that. Yeah. And you can rip it open. Otherwise, we didn't even find that at first. It was like, oh my gosh, this is hard to open. It doesn't even open that great with that thing. I think it's only on the one side. So you might just have to work with the hole and just stick your finger inside almost, you know, honey, and get it to come out. In fact, it's capped on both sides as well, so you don't have to worry about getting anything dirty. Okay. So we got to fix that because that's not very convenient at all, is it? Perfect. There you go. So the other good thing about the flow regulator, it'll remind you, is that it has this disc on it, and the disc itself is important because it's going to help you fit the syringe right into the pump. So that's an easy way to remember that the disc is the part that goes onto the pump. You won't be able to fit this onto the pump anyway, or onto the syringe, I'm sorry. Because it's a male-female thing, and if you can see, that's the male end, and then this is the female end. So, if you go ahead, I'm just going to pretend this is that I'm not here, and I'll have you uncap that by screwing it off, and if you can keep the underneath part clean, that's the most ideal, and then just grab your syringe, and you'll see that they fit together really well. Grab the barrel so you have more control. There you go. Yep. And now all you do is twist that on. Yep, push and twist that on. Beautiful. Don't over tighten it though, because don't forget, we're going to have to take this syringe off and put the other one on. And seeing as this stuff is sticky, it's almost like it'll glue on if you get it too tight, you know. But we want it snug, but not too bad. Yep, beautiful. Okay, see, beautiful. You're doing an excellent job. And this is all capped, so you're good now, you know. And even if like a phone rang, you need to go to the bathroom, you're good, you know. Everything's contained, everything's capped and sterile, you're good, you know. Okay. But as long as you're good to go forward, then we're ready for the next step, okay? Or are you feel good?
Yep.
Okay.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Are we having fun yet? I think this is fun. What is up with you guys? Gee, maybe it's because it's not my stomach.
Well,
you
it's
know,
a
and
little
it's
bit
not
funner
mine.
than going to work, I guess. But
What's that?
I said it is a little bit funner than going back to work.
No, it's
No,
not.
she'd rather go to work.
rather
That's
go to
why.
work.
Yeah,
No,
she
I'm
knows
just
what to
teasing.
expect at work. It's not an unknown thing, right? Okay. So the next thing is the tubing that leads to you. So we got the syringe that's going to end up going in the pump later. We got the flow regulator with the disc that's going to help it click into the pump right at the end of the syringe. Now this is the piece that we need that's going to connect to you with the little needles at the end. I hate to mention the little needles,
No,
but
it's
they
okay.
are there.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and open what you already opened.
Okay. Well, already open.
That's good. You can peel it all the way back if you want, honey, just so you. There we go.
Doug, what time do you gotta leave?
10:10.
What time?
10:10.
Okay.
My morning.
Oh, 10:10. I thought you said 10 till. 10 till. I'm like, it's 10 till right now. All right, beautiful. Okay. Now again, let me just show you one quick thing. That's nothing important really, but it shows you have 4 needles, priming volume. You know, it just gives you information about this whole step. The other thing, it tells you how small the gauge is. 27 gauge of needles, 9 millimeters is the length of it, and the gauge is the bigness around. Do you know what I mean? So
Okay.
they're nice and tiny. The larger the number, the tinier it is. So when they were giving you your IVIG, it was 24 gauges. Those are pretty small, but 27 is smaller even yet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And when you give blood, they use 16 gauge needles. They're huge. They're like a
Right.
garden hose or something, you know. I mean, I give blood regularly. I just gave blood, and I'm like, I do needles all day. I don't even want to see that thing go in my arm. It's so
Oh.
big, you know. Okay, so these are
Alright.
tiny, tiny. And the next thing you're going to do is just take these paper things off. And they just kind of rip off. I'll show you. Just rip them off and throw them out. But they keep them from getting tangled, so that'll help you. Okay, so you should have 4 of those because this is a 4 needle set.
Take that Benadryl. I'm getting all sleepy again.
Did you take 50?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess what you could do is get this all ready. Or take your Benadryl and then get it ready right away before it's soaking in. While it's
Right.
soaking in. you know.
Right.
So, and you'd be surprised how fast you're going to be at getting this ready. Once you get it down,
Once
it's
I get
like,
it down, yeah.
oh my gosh, this will be fast, you know. But, and most people do it, they're watching the news, there's something relaxing, you know.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
Alright.
Toss those in. Now we've got these transparent little jobby doos. They're transparent membrane dressings, they call them. Oh,
Okay.
they even got an extra one in here for you.
Yeah, these ones came part of
Yeah,
the-
those came and they're okay, but these are nice. These are a little nicer.
Yeah, that's.
But I would
corn
keep these.
scent.
Yes, exactly. But I would keep these. I was going to say, why were they in the package? It's because you put them in there,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm
yeah.
like, they never come in the package.
Yeah. Yeah,
You're
I put
mixing
them
me
in
up.
there.
I'm like, how did that happen?
Sorry. Yeah,
You're-
just so I wouldn't lose them. I put
You're
them in the
right. I
package.
love it. Now these are good though. I'd keep these in a little baggie in your thing,
In a
just
thing.
as extras. If you needed to reinforce one was coming up, or maybe for some reason they forgot to send these. Usually they send you enough to have a whole nother infusion. I see here they send you only 1 extra, because 4 is what you're going to
Right.
need every day. So collect your extras, and that way if for some reason somebody messes up and only sends you 2 instead of 4, you always have a few extra.
Extra.
And you can use these. They're fine. They just are not quite, they're maybe just a little smaller, and I think these are a little nicer on your
These look
skin.
more sturdy too.
Yeah, a little sturdier, and I think they have a type of adhesive that is a little more acceptable, like
Nicer
yeah,
to
a little better tolerated for your skin. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll put these in here, in the bottom, and then you'll have them handy if you need them. And now we got this thing all good, so we're gonna open this up and kind of untangle, and let it come on down. Okay, and see, the reason it's long is to give you some room so that you have, between the pump and you've got some slack. You know what I
Right.
mean? You don't have to be so tight. Okay, and you can see that this is probably going to be a female end, and you can see that's going to be the male end that goes together, right?
Okay.
But they're capped. So they're clean under there.
Okay.
So that would be the next step, is to connect these two.
Okay.
Okay, so if you can uncap it and then just keep it handy in your hand, like maybe between your fingers even, like sometimes, yeah, exactly, you got it. You have got it exactly. I was going to demonstrate, but I don't need to. Yeah, just don't touch that other one though, see, honey? So in a way, that's perfect. I was going to do something like this. Put this one way over here, and then take this one off like that.
I've seen
And that
that,
way,
okay.
you're really not so close where you might hit it. I mean, if you
Okay.
do, you just got to clean it again.
Right.
You know, it's no big deal.
Okay.
But it's ideally, it's nice to have it sterile. So you go
Right.
ahead and connect those two.
Okay.
Easy as pie, right?
Yeah,
I
seems like
know.
it so far.
Yeah, it's very doable.
Twist on or?
Yep, it should. It should be easy though. So make sure that you've got the threads lined up. If it's not, you might want to undo it and double check that it's really threading right. Here, let me see, honey. I don't want you contaminated as you get it off. Yeah, it might be all right actually. There. It's just when you do it exactly right in, it shouldn't be that hard. It should go on kind of nicely. You know what I mean? Without too much force. So you try that.
Okay.
Line it up a little more carefully and see if that works.
Yeah.
Feels better?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This one doesn't matter if it's so tight because we're not going to be taking this off through the whole thing until the end and then you're throwing it out.
Okay.
It's here that you don't want it so tight because we have to change your syringe over, you know what I mean?
Right. Right. Okay.
All right, so perfect. Now we've got this all ready, and really we're almost ready to put the little needles in. There's one more step that we do before we put the needles in, and that is we want to replace all the air that's in here with the medicine, and it's called
Okay.
priming the tube or purging the air out or whatever. Okay. Now they even say that you don't even have to do this step because it's such a small amount of air that's in this tiny tubing that it really wouldn't even matter. But I just think that why bother having air go in there and making you even a little bit more of a swelling, you know?
Right.
The air would just be absorbed into your body, and it is a very small amount. But I like to do it. I think it's probably the best choice as long as you're comfortable with it. The other thing they like you to do, if you can, is to prime it all the way up near the needles, but not all the way to the needles. Because if you go all the way through the needles where it's dripping out,
Burn.
well, it irritates a little bit when it goes in.
Right.
And then you get a little more redness right at that insertion site. So there's no real need for that, you know?
Okay.
So what's good is that we do have a little extra light in here because you have very young eyes, which probably won't matter. But since it's clear liquid, it's kind of hard sometimes to see where it is. And you want to stop in through this area here, you know, right near the needle, you know, like right in through here.
Right.
So when it gets to the end, we want to stop priming. So we'll be watching where it is, okay?
Okay.
And the easiest thing is to press down on the table and let it go through. So this is another thing, by the way, that gets rid of the air because you're going to be pushing all the bubbles in the air through, okay?
All right.
But what's nice is you got rid of most of the air, so that's extra good, you
Right.
know, because if it was down to here, you don't want to be pushing all that through and then get into the bubbles, you know?
Right.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead and do that, kind of press down,
Okay.
and you might need to hold it that like that, and then watch. See as it goes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. There it goes. You see the bubbles coming down, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. They're going fast. Let's make sure I keep track of them here. It's going to take more time to get through this section. I don't think it's through there yet, is it?
I think it is now.
Oh, there.
Go.
Did you see that bubble come through?
Yes.
Okay. See, they even caught a few of the frothy bubbles right there, see? But where is it? Is it all the way through here now? I gotta look at it against the light because of my eyeballs. Yeah, I think it's about right there. See those little bubbles coming through? When they move, you can see them easier.
Right. Right. Yeah, I could see it moving when it.
Can you tell where it is? What's fun is it's kind of like a horse race. Which one's winning, you know, because it goes through each of these four. So can you see them through there?
I can see him.
There, yep. You're right. Now it'll probably take a little more
like right
volume.
here.
Oh, it's all the way up there?
Yeah, I'm seeing it from here
Mom.
anyways.
Mom can see him from up there. Nope.
No,
I think.
yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Well, horse number one has,
Here. Here.
Oh look, here's one.
Okay.
They should put something so you can see it better.
I see it.
There,
Okay.
there they are. Yep, right by my finger, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. Good. You're doing great. Mine's losing over here. It's behind. All right. Yeah, when you stop, you can't see them that well. Oh yeah, so you're gonna be ready to slow down soon. Can you see right in here, honey? Yeah. Yep, I'd say